I am so pumped to announce a new product coming to the Indian motorcycle audio market that will be live next month in the middle of September. And Davidson Audio is going to be your first for the install video and pre-orders for the Precision Power lid cutting kit for Indian motorcycle saddlebags. First, let's talk about what this is. This is a lid cutting kit to take your factory lids, non-speaker lids, cut them in with this kit to put a 6.5 in your OEM lids, so that way you don't have to buy power band lids. This is gonna fit the new body style, so these squared off bags. This is the body style that was announced in 2019 with the Chieftains and current. So this is gonna be Chieftains and Roadmasters 19 to current, non-classic. They still make classic Roadmasters, and all of the Challenger pursuits, this will work. So I'm gonna go over what this kit all includes. We're gonna show you how to install it, and then we're gonna discuss the pre-order of these, because Davidson Audio has a bunch of these coming on the way, and we wanted to show you how to do it, and we're gonna include these with our kits to help y'all make the job even easier and save you a few $100s. Let's show you, we got one already installed, so I wanted to take a moment. So OEM bag, no speaker whatsoever, Precision Power lid cutting kit. So this is already done, it's cut into the lid. And we have a Cicada Audio CX65 in here. It's one of the speakers that we use all the time. And as you see, we cut the tether mount off. That's because Precision Power gives you a new hole right there to use, and they actually provide a tether. It's a two-piece design, so you'll see here in a second. We cut this opening out, this drops down, you load the speaker in the bottom part and you screw it together, sandwiches it in. Really clean fit there, looks really, really good. I'm really digging it. We did a really good job with that kit. It's gonna look awesome. So let's talk about, now this is only half the kit kind of, because we've already put one of them in there. So the first thing is, they're gonna give you this template. This is the cut template. Literally drop it on there, 3 screws. I'll show you all this. You cut it out and then you take that off. Here is the actual piece. So this is the top piece that you see on the outside. Drops down from the top, and then those are the 4 brass inserts. This is where you're gonna load your speaker to it first. Then this is gonna go from the bottom, and then from the inside, you're gonna run the 4 machine screws into those, which will sandwich that together. Then they also send you some wiring. I really like this wiring. So this is gonna give you kind of like a bulkhead style. So this would go inside the bag. You would twist that on there, run it to your speaker. That's both sides, they color coordinate it. And then from this side, you would screw that on, route that all the way up to your amplifier up in the fairing. Really nice, really clean design. And then these are the tether straps they give you, pretty much just like the OEM, almost identical. There's a crossover pocket. And then, like I said, they've got some tether screws. These are for the templates. Then they got the machine screws for the 2-part right there. Screw those together. And then these are to hold the speaker in. So that's pretty much everything that comes in the kit. Now, like I said, we got a pre-production version, so we don't have the box or anything. They just send it to us to do this video for y'all. And then here are pretty much the tools that you're gonna need. Now, mind you, these aren't the exact ones that you need. This is just what we like to use here. You need an oscillating tool to cut the tether strap off, the OEM one. You need a drill, so you can use a Phillips bit first, or a screwdriver. But what you're gonna do is you're gonna take an 1/8 inch bit. You're gonna drill out these 3 holes, screw them in, and then I take the drill bit, I'll use the 1/8 inch first, and then finish it off with a 5/8. And then what I do is I just drill these two, the corners out. And what I like to do is I like to just picture right here in the middle of this hole. I'll hit that with an 1/8 inch bit first, and then the 5/8 to size it up. That way you have somewhere to stick the jigsaw, and then you'll follow the template out all the way. You'll remove that, but like I said, you'll see that process here in a minute. Obviously, painter's tape, and then we like to use, well, one, the jigsaw here. This is what you're gonna use to cut it out. but then we use a sander to smooth it all out and widen it maybe a little bit if we have any clearancing issues. So those are the tools that we like to use to get this job done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up the old tripod there, and I'll show you all the process of getting this done, installed, load the speaker, and let y'all see both of them, and then we'll talk about the pre-orders. The first part of getting this lid cutting kit done is securing the cutout template here to the lid. But what we have to do first is we like to painter's tape this whole section of the lid to, one, protect the paint, and then also when we go to screw this on here, it kind of makes it a little bit easier depending on the color of the lid to see what we got going on. So we're first going to masking tape this whole section off. We tape it off to about here, and then we are going to secure this on here. So let's go ahead and get this area taped off, and then we will get this secured and start cutting it. Now that it's all taped off, it doesn't have to be perfect, just as long as it's covering everything up. The only thing I will say is that when you do tape it up, I don't know if you can see it in the video, but you want to overlap the tape a little bit, just a little bit. I think about 1/4 inch or so, whatever, it doesn't matter. That way you get a good even coverage, and just make sure you flatten it all out. That way your lid cut-in template will sit on here very nicely. So here you just want to pull it up here. It'll sit right where it needs to be once you put pressure on it. So what we're going to do is we're going to drill these 3 holes. I like to drill them first before we screw them in. I just use an 1/8 inch drill bit, but what I'll probably do is just mark them with the Sharpie first, drill them out, and then screw it in. Before we get this screwed on here, I just remembered from when we did the first one, on the Precision Power kit right here, this tether strap mount gets cut off. So what I'm going to do first is cut this tab off, because when we go to cut this template out, it's going to come through this area and it makes it a little bit harder to cut through here. So we're going to go ahead and cut this off first. That way when we go to cut everything out, it's not in our way. So I'll use my oscillating tool and sander, cut that off, smooth it out, and then we'll get the template going. So we got this tether mount all cut out and sanded down. And now let's go ahead and secure the template on here. In the kit, they provide you with some template screws. So we're going to grab 3 of these. And just a Phillips screwdriver. You don't really need to use a drill on this. You can if you want. We just use Phillips screwdriver, especially because once you pre-drill them, it makes it a lot easier. You've got all these little indentions here. You can go through and drill every single pair out if you would like to. What I do is I just do these corner ones, because by the time I cut through here, I'm going to go all the way over here. You're going to hit these holes. So what I like to do is find the center of this hole, and I'll put an 1/8 inch bit all the way in here, and then I will step it up until I get to a 5/8 drill bit, which should put you right about this edge, and that'll be big enough for you to get your jigsaw in here and follow this template. And from the first one that we did, you really want to hug this outer edge, because when we cut everything out, we had to do some sanding to smooth this out a little bit, and we had to do some more sanding for it to properly fit in there. But you'll see that in a minute. So let's go ahead and get these holes drilled out. That way we can get all this cut out, and then we'll show you the sanding and the test fitting until it drops all the way in. Like I said, you can see here, I drilled 8 sets of holes here around the corner. Puts us right about at this edge, right around here. It's about a 5/8 bit. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take the jigsaw. We're going to cut right on the edge of this, so hopefully that'll help alleviate some of the sanding we have to do. So I'm just going to take our jigsaw for this one. I like to pop the guard off. Now I'm not telling you guys to do that. It's completely up to your discretion. It's just easier for me to see when we're going about it. So we're just going to take our cordless jigsaw here. We're going to cut this whole template out, get rid of this, take this part off, and then we'll start the process of test fitting the outer part of the lid cutting kit. So that way we can clearance all the way around. And once this drops in, you don't want to just like fall in, but you want it like a little snug to get in there. But it's got a good seal area. You just don't want to go too crazy and go past that seal area. So we have the opening roughed, so now it's time to go back through and sand all this up and clean it up. You saw me go around more than once. It's because when you start cutting through plastic like this, especially the jigsaw, as it goes around, the blade heats up. So once the blade is heated up, it starts melting the plastic. So I like to go around a couple of times. That way we ensure that it's cut all the way out. So now, like I said, I'm going to take the sander, just clean all this up, and we're going to test fit the outer part of the lid cutting kit, make sure we got clearance, and then we'll load the speaker and get it installed. Now that this opening is cleaned up, let's test fit this first before taking the tape off. And like I said, just, yeah, well, we got it spot on the first time. So what I wanted to show you is on that template, now that we already cut it out, the template, there was that gapping here. And what we did is I cut, instead of following this line on the inside, I split that line with the jigsaw and cut right along the line. So I actually cut the line all the way out and then sanded everything. That way we ensured that with a little bit of sanding, we were good to go. So let's take this tape off, and then we have to load the speaker in the bottom part first and then put it together. So I'll get this taken off and then I'll show you that process. The first thing you're going to want to do here is take, this is the inner part. You'll see it's got the gasket and it's got a speaker mounting flange. And you'll find your speaker mounting screws. I'm sure in the actual production kit you'll they'll be labeled or something. So we'll just grab 4 of these because we only need 4. And you can tell that they're these because they don't have a point to them. They're not machined or anything. So this is going to go in like this. So depending on how you want your speaker oriented, we like to put ours just like that. So that way when it goes in, you get to see it. So we'll drop the 4 screws in there and then we'll put this together. Now that your speaker's installed, you're going to take your 4 machine screws. They got a flange on them and they're just normal machine bolts, because on the lid cutting kit you'll see there's heated inserts in the top portion. So what you've got to do is set this part right there, and then you're going to open up your lid. Let's see if we can get this here. And you're just going to set this just like that. Then you're going to drop your machine screws in. That way you can start tightening them. And then just like your standard, wheel on a car, just do it in a diagonal. And you should be good to go. You never want to torque all these down. You just want to get them all started. Sometimes you'll have to get a couple of them started. That way it'll help pull the lid cutting kit together. Because like I said, this is a 2-piece, and now we'll just go into a diagonal pattern, snug them up a little bit at a time. Now the last thing that we're going to do is show you how the tether strap goes on here. Like I said, when we cut this out, we cut the one tether strap out on the front of the lid, but Precision Power has a mount here. So what we're going to do is we're going to reuse this factory 4mm over here and then put their screw in over there. And then that's going to complete the install process of this. In the kit you'll have a little baggie, should be labeled tether screws. It's just a little pointed self-threading screw. This is also going to be a 4mm. I stand corrected, the small screw is actually a 2.5mm. So you're just going to thread that in there just like that. Then take your 4mm or drop your saddlebag and torque this one down. And then one thing I wanted to show y'all on the back side here is Precision Power does this little pocket. This is a crossover pocket, so if you use a set of their speakers with a crossover required, you can put it here. Then the last part you'd want to do is just secure the tether strap in here. With the OEM hardware, it's done the exact same way that you would the OEM one, so you could replace it. Or if you just want to keep your OEM one, you can just use their screw here and it would be good to go. So that's it for the install process of the Precision Power lid cutting kit that they developed for the Indians. Now these are all installed and done. Just wanted to take a second to show y'all how these things look when they're all installed. I think these are going to be a very big seller for them. This is going to help solve a lot of issues for people that don't want to wait for the OEM lids, that just want to use what they have and cut them out. So this is going to allow you to install a set of 6.5s in your OEM lids. We did try to test fit the power bands, and the power bands will not fit in these. So these are going to be for the precision power speakers that they offer, plus a coax standard speaker like the Cicada CXX or the CX series 6.5s, or like the Hertz SV165s, or any 6.5 inch coax should fit in there. I won't be able to verify until we get our hands on them and test fit them all. So like I said, very good fit and finish, looks super clean. This is going to be a big help with these audio packages. I had no doubt that these were going to fit really well. The folks over at Precision Power make a quality pack kit. They've been doing lid cutting kits for the Harleys for quite a while now, so I had no doubt that they were going to kill it on these ones. And like I said, these kits include everything that you need. It includes the cut template, comes with all the hardware, the 2-piece for this, the screws for that, also the speaker wiring if you choose to use it, and a whole number of things. The tether straps with the crossover pockets, which we don't install horn speakers in the lids because of water intrusion through them. We learned that the hard way. So this is going to be our go-to. This is going to be another option that we're going to offer on the website for y'all. Install, but I wanted to go over one. Let's go talk about pricing, availability, and what Davidson Audio is doing with these. But first, I wanted to take a second. We swapped the speakers back out because these are a Precision Power lid cutting kit, and I forgot honestly that we had some extra pairs in the shop. So we went ahead and put this is their MAS 654. This is their coax style speaker. It might be a little hard to see, but it's got the coax in there. Fits right in. And I did forget that the reason why these lid cutting kits, the speaker mounts have 8 screws, is because Precision Power uses 8 mounting screws, which is pretty nice because it allows you to orient the speaker either way. And then we also did this is their MAS 652 HT. This is going to be their horn speaker. If you can see that there, you can see the compression horn in there. I did talk to Precision Power. They are coming out with a waterproof, and I don't like to use the term waterproof because I don't think any electronics are waterproof. It's going to be what I would call their element ready speaker. So it's going to have the boot around the horn and then a membrane over the tweeter. That way it makes them more element ready. It'll help keep water from intruding inside the tweeter, which is where the water gets in. So these are going to be 2 speakers that'll drop in as well. But then also, like I showed you, this is our Cicada Audio CX 654. We also have a CXX 654, which is a carbon cone. This one drops in there, which means that the CM65 series will fit in there, the CM654 and 2, or the CM654 or 2X, which is their carbon version that we really like, which the CX series is going away. It's going to be the CXX series, and then the CMX will be a really good option that'll drop right in these. So I just wanted to touch base on what speakers will fit in here so far that we have personally tested, and that way y'all know. And again, the power band Gen 1s or 2s will not fit in this lid cutting kit. So unfortunately, y'all will not be able to do that. Now, you may be able to do some sanding on this speaker. I'm not vouching for that. I'm not going to go buy a pair and sand them all up to make them fit. So that's going to be on somebody else if they want to try that. Or if you want to send us a pair, I'll try it. But please know, if we destroy them, I'm not paying for them. That's a risk that you're going to run. If you want us to try to fit them in here, I'm like 90% sure they are not going to fit. But let's move on to pricing and availability. Precision Power did inform me that this lid cutting kit is going to be $499.99, so $500. That's going to include enough to do everything you need for both lids. So what you see here, minus speakers, no speakers are included. It's just the lid cutting kit. So it provides your own speakers. But that saves you roughly about $300 versus the OEM power band speakers and grills. By the time you add those up, it's about $790 to $800 currently to this date. Now, availability, Davidson Audio, we did order a good amount of these kits. We have them coming. We were told the middle of September we will have them. So as of today, the dropping in this video, we're going to start pre-sales of them. So please know, if you pre-order them, do not expect them till the end of September. I'd rather tell you that and we get them in a little bit sooner than me tell you sooner and you get them later and you get upset with us. So if you want to pre-order these, it will be end of September delivery date. So I'm just opening that up. If anybody wants to pre-order them, you can. We'll put a disclaimer on the product that if you want to, that's what we're going to be doing. So that is going to conclude this video for this product. I just wanted to do an in-depth install video. I know this video was long, but I wanted to show you the entire install process of this. If you buy our kit with these, you know how to install them on your 2019 to current Indian Chieftain Roadmaster, excluding Roadmaster Classics. If you have the round bag, so if your Roadmaster looks like the 18 and older Roadmasters or Chieftains, this kit will not work. And it works for the 2020 to current Challenger and Pursuits, all of those it works. So if your Roadmaster looks like the newer Challengers and Pursuits and saddlebags, you're good to go. This will work. It's a great kit that's going to solve an option or a problem that we have currently with people that don't want to wait the turnaround time for the OEM lids. So hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope it was informative. I hope it gives you the confidence that you guys could install this kit on your own. And if you don't, bring it on down here to Davidson Audio. We'd be more than happy to help you all with your install. So I'm Brandon with Davidson Audio, located here in beautiful Panama City, Florida. If you want the best aftermarket audio solution for your Indian motorcycle, your Harley motorcycle period, make sure you check us out. God bless all of y'all.